The story of Chief Joseph, known to his people as Hinmatoa Vialati, is a poignant and enduring testament to the struggles of Native Americans in the 19th century, particularly the Nez Perce tribe's desperate fight to preserve their way of life and homeland in the face of relentless U.S. government encroachment. Born around 1840, Joseph's early life was shaped by the traditions and customs of the Nez Perce, a resourceful people who thrived in the Wallowa Valley of northeastern Oregon and southeastern Washington, a region they considered sacred and vital to their existence. The Nez Perce possessed a deep understanding of their environment, mastering horsemanship, fishing and hunting, and their intricate social structure emphasized peaceful coexistence and respect for elders and ancestors. Joseph's father, Old Joseph, was a respected leader who advocated for peace and diplomacy with the encroaching white settlers, a stance that often contrasted with the more assertive perspectives of other tribal leaders. The mid-19th century brought significant upheaval for the Nez Perce, as the United States government began to aggressively pursue policies of land acquisition and Native American assimilation, disregarding existing treaties and agreements. In 1855, the Treaty of Walla Walla was signed, ostensibly guaranteeing the Nez Perce a vast reservation encompassing their traditional homeland. But this treaty was soon violated by both sides. Gold was discovered on Nez Perce land in 1863, triggering a massive influx of prospectors and settlers eager to stake their claims, further straining relations and increasing pressure on the tribe's territory. The U.S. government subsequently renegotiated the treaty in 1863, drastically reducing the size of the reservation, a move that angered many Nez Perce and effectively dispossessed them of their ancestral lands. Many Nez Perce, including Joseph's father, opposed this new treaty and refused to move to the smaller reservation, choosing to remain on their traditional lands and resist further encroachment. Old Joseph died in 1871, leaving a void in the leadership of the Wallowa Band. But his commitment to peace and his connection to the land profoundly influenced Joseph, who inherited his father's legacy. Following his father's death, Joseph emerged as a prominent leader of the Wallowa Band, continuing to advocate for his people's rights and seeking to maintain their traditional way of life. In 1877, the situation reached a boiling point when U.S. Army Captain James L. Thompson ordered the arrest of several Nez Perce men accused of assisting a band of Yakama warriors who had raided white settlements. Although the accused men were ultimately acquitted, the incident ignited tensions and prompted the army to demand that Joseph and his followers, who numbered around 150 people, move to the Malheur Reservation in Oregon, far from their ancestral homeland. Joseph refused to comply, arguing that the government had violated treaties and that his people had a right to remain on their traditional lands, leading to a tense standoff with the army. On June 1, 1877, a skirmish erupted when an army scout shot and killed a young Nez Perce man named Owl Creek, triggering a full-scale conflict between the Nez Perce and the U.S. Army detachment. The Nez Perce, though vastly outnumbered, fought bravely and skillfully, utilizing their knowledge of the terrain and their horsemanship to repeatedly outmaneuver and defeat their opponents in a series of battles. Over the course of approximately 4 months, the Nez Perce embarked on a remarkable retreat covering over 1,170 miles, 1,880 kilometers through Oregon, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming, constantly pursued by U.S. Army forces. The Nez Perce managed to repeatedly ambush and defeat army detachments, demonstrating remarkable military prowess and strategic acumen, earning the respect of some soldiers and even inspiring awe in others. During their retreat, the Nez Perce forged temporary alliances with other Native American tribes, including the Crow and Shoshone, who provided assistance and shelter along the way. The Nez Perce were driven by a deep desire to reach Canada, believing that they could find refuge and freedom among the Canadian government and the British Empire. However, they were relentlessly pursued by multiple U.S. Army columns, led by seasoned commanders such as Generals Oliver O. Howard and Nelson A. Miles Godosh. As the Nez Perce neared the Canadian border, they were exhausted, depleted of resources, and facing increasingly difficult terrain, hindering their progress. Just days away from crossing into Canada, the Nez Perce were decisively defeated in the Battle of Bear Paw Mountains in Montana on September 30th, 1877. 1,000. The U.S. Army, having reinforced its positions, overwhelmed the weary Nez Perce, effectively ending their epic retreat and forcing their surrender. Despite their valiant efforts and tactical brilliance, the Nez Perce were ultimately denied their dream of finding refuge in Canada, and they were forcibly relocated to Oklahoma, far from their ancestral lands. The relocation to Oklahoma was devastating for the Nez Perce, as they faced harsh living conditions, disease, and the loss of their traditional way of life. Joseph and his followers endured immense suffering in Oklahoma, longing for their homeland and yearning for the freedom to live according to their traditions. In 1885, Joseph petitioned Congress to allow him and his people to return to the Wallowa Valley, but his request was denied, further compounding their despair. Shortly after, Joseph attempted to lead a group of Nez Perce back to their homeland in the Wallowa Valley, but he was intercepted by the army in what became known as the Modoc War. Joseph was arrested and imprisoned, further restricting his freedom and preventing him from returning to the land he cherished. Joseph spent the remaining years of his life in exile, advocating for Native American rights and speaking out against the injustices suffered by his people. He became a prominent figure in the Native American rights movement, inspiring others to fight for justice and equality. Chief Joseph died on September 21st, 1904, at the age of approximately 64, while living in exile in Washington state. His last words, reportedly, were, "From where the sun goes, it will return, and it will shine again on my people," a poignant expression of hope and perseverance. Chief Joseph's legacy extends far beyond the events of 1877, serving as a powerful symbol of resistance, resilience, and the enduring struggle for Native American rights and self-determination. His story continues to inspire people around the world to fight for justice, equality, and the protection of cultural heritage. The memory of the Nez Perce's remarkable journey and Joseph's unwavering commitment to his people remains etched in the annals of American history, a testament to the enduring human spirit.